Hello, welcome to more yoga with me, Emily. Thank you so much for joining me today. I thought today we would go through lizard pose in all its many variations. So essentially what that is a long lunge, one leg forward, one leg back. The back knee can be up or down. The front foot could be turned out or turned in or parallel. You can have the hips low, you can have the hips high. So there are about 3 or 4 different variations that I'm going to take you through. Some of them are more prep for other poses like arm balances. Some of them are deeper stretches. The whole time though, we're going to be working on that sort of balance between being totally passive and quite active in the poses. I think I prefer the active variation. We go to talk about this a lot, just to help protect your joints and your ligaments and all of that stuff. So let's start. I don't know. You'd think I prepare these things, right? Let's start in child's pose. Thinking of your knees wide if you wish, which actually might help start to release some of the muscles that you will be releasing in lizard pose. You can have the knees together and that will help release through the low back a little bit more. You can always bring the floor up to you by propping hands underneath your forehead if you wish. And your arms could be really active if you want, or maybe their elbows are bent. You could have the hands in prayer behind your head. You could do what I call chicken winging your arms. And then for a few breaths, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh your breath away. Couple more. And continue breathing however you need to here, whether it's in and out through your nose or your mouth. With every inhale, imagine your spine lengthening from your tailbone up to the crown of your head. And with each exhale, feel that gentle softening of the front body toward the floor. You may need to adjust your position at any point. Once gravity starts to work on our bodies here, we end up finding sometimes more length through the spine and deeper flexion through the hips. Last few breaths here. And then if your arms aren't extended, start to extend them out in front of you. And then gently walk your upper body, your hands over the left edge of your mat. You might even go off the edge of the mat. And getting a side stretch to the right side of the body. With every inhale, think of breathing into the right side of the ribs, puffing them up. And as you exhale, lengthen the right sit bone back toward your heels. Couple more here. And then inhale, walk your upper body all the way over now, off the right edge of the mat. Breathing now into the left side of the body, as gentle or as deep of a side stretch as you need. And slowly inhale, come back to center, walk your hands underneath your shoulders, press yourself up to hands and knees. Little wiggle or shake, and then we'll move through cat and cow. Inhale, lift the tailbone, hollow through the lower back, wrap the shoulder blades toward each other, and exhale, round through your spine. And press your spine up to the sky. Inhale to dip the belly and look forward. Exhale, round. So a few more of these undulations on your own time, on your own breath. And as always, if there's any other movement that would feel good here, feel free to move how you need to move. And then return to center, tuck your toes. As you exhale, lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. You might pedal your heels out a little bit here, depending on how tight your calves are feeling today. You could wag your tail from side to side, getting more length through the sides of the body. Just moving in whatever way feels good here that will help you ease into your downward facing dog. And then start to hug the upper arm bones toward each other a little bit more. Bend your knees. And then start to send your sit bones back to the back wall. One more inhale. One sweet exhale. Bend your knees, look forward. On your exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of your mat. Standing forward fold, knees bent, at least micro bend, maybe even a deep bend. You can sway a little bit from side to side. You might clasp opposite elbows with hands. If you want to bring the floor up to you today, and you have blocks or books or tins of tomatoes that you want to bring your hands to, you can use that. Last couple breaths here. And then if you have your arms bound, gently release them. Bring your fingertips to your shins or the earth. Inhale, a little partway lift, belly button to spine. Exhale, let it all go. Couple more. And bend your knees, head heavy, arms heavy. Slowly start to roll up to standing, one vertebra at a time. Slow as you need to go until you arrive up at the top. Couple loops of the shoulders up, back, and down. Little wiggle or release. Let's get the blood flow up even more. Hug the legs toward each other. Tailbone to the earth slightly. Belly button to spine. On your inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Maybe look up. Exhale, dive or fold down to the earth. Forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands flat. On your inhale, step back to plank. Top of a push-up, either from your toes or from your knees, wherever you need to be. Couple breaths. Press the floor away from you. Squeeze the bum. Squeeze the tops of your thighs. And then try not to send the heels so far back. Almost want to stack them over your toes. Last breath here. And then exhale. Lower all the way down to the earth. Little wiggle of the hips from side to side. Untuck your toes. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. So much so you feel your kneecaps lift away. Wrap your shoulder blades onto your back. Inhale. Lift the heart forward and up. Baby cobra. And exhale. Lower back down. A few more of these on your own time. On your own breath. Sometimes people refer to baby cobra as Makarasana or crocodile pose, which sometimes it gets confused with lizard pose for obvious reasons. One more breath here. Tuck your toes. Exhale, up and back. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees. Look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of your mat. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, right back down to the earth. Forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Inhale, hop, step, or float back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway to the earth. Inhale through baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrists, hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, right knee to right armpit or elbow, hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, draw the knee across to the opposite side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to comes to nose, and then pause. Press the floor away a little bit more. And then exhale, step your right foot to your thumb. Back knee can be up or down. And then inhale, come up for lunge. So whether that's low lunge with the back knee down or high lunge with the back knee up. Shake it out a bit if you want to go off alignment. And then start to sink into your pose. Really squeeze the bum on the back leg. Little drop, belly button to spine. And you might gently float the arms up to the sky. Really squeeze the bum on the back leg. One more breath here. As you exhale, start to send your hips back. Make sure your back knee is down if you're in high lunge. And come to half splits. Hands could be on hips, on blocks, or on the floor. Really wrap the left hip forward as you draw the right hip back. You could be still here, or maybe you're playing with a bit of fascial release. Make sure the front knee is micro bent though. And then almost feel like you're dragging that front heel back toward you. Last breath here. On your inhale, rock forward. Plant your hands, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee comes to nose, shoulders over wrists, hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, left knee to left armpit or elbow. Inhale, up. Exhale, draw the knee across to the opposite side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee comes to nose and then pause. Exhale, step your left foot to your thumb. Again, your back knee can be up or down. And then inhale, come up for low lunge. I really like backing out of the hips to start with and starting, just to shake it out and then feel these activations. The hug of the legs toward each other, the squeeze of the bum on the back leg, grounding through the front heel and then kind of rebounding up through the arms. Chill out on the shrug muscles. Really active squeeze of the bum on the back leg. One more breath here. And then as you exhale, release the back knee to the floor. If it's lifted, shift your hips back, extending through the front leg, half splits. Again, hands could be on hips, or on blocks, or on the earth. You might point and flex those front toes or rock a little bit side to side. And then find a few breaths of stillness here. Really wrap the right hip forward as you draw that left hip back. You saw I put my thumb in my hip crease to sort of really manually adjust myself. You can do that if you wish. Little micro bend in the front knee. And then peel those toes back toward your face even more, getting into the calf muscles. Inhale, ripple forward, bend the front knee, plant your hands, step back, flow, down dog, or child's pose, wherever you need to go. Couple breaths wherever you've landed. And let's meet back in downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. As you exhale, step your right foot to your thumb. Gently release your back knee, gently, Emily, to the floor or to a chip foam block. And then bring both hands inside the front foot. So you need to heel the front foot out a little bit wider. Keep the front foot parallel though. So first option, or the first variation of lizard, keep the hips high. And then really think of hugging this front knee in toward your shoulder. Keeping those hips high, as I said, as you exhale, start to melt the heart low. Now, one option you have here is to spin the back shin parallel to the short edge of your mat, and that will give your hips quite a bit more space to fold or bow into this position. Option one, with the hands to stay here. Option two, thread the right arm underneath the leg, bringing the hand to the outside of the foot, and then you can really kind of nestle in there. Third option, spread your wings. Fourth option, maybe you bind around that right thigh. So these are all options within the first variation of lizard, where it's hips high, heart low. In theory, that's what we're aiming for. Now, those of you who have an arm balance here, right, it's the threading of the arm underneath here, where you're eventually going to tip forward and de-weight that front leg, extending it forward. And then slowly, gently back out of your hips. Spin the back shin to neutral. Plant your hands. And then heel to that front foot out a little bit wider even. Keep hugging that arm in toward, hugging that knee in toward your arm. Tuck the back toes. Option one here. Option two, come up onto the toes on the front leg or front foot. Option three, de-weight the front knee. Maybe a couple little mini chaturanga push-ups. And then inhale the right leg up and back. Three-legged dog. You can stay here or take a flow if you wish. Okay, so let's do that on the left side. On your inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, step your left foot to your thumb. Gently release the back knee to the floor or to a chip foam block. And then heel into the front foot out a little bit wider. And then bring your left hand inside the left foot. You might need a slightly shorter distance between the foot and the knee. Front foot and back knee, you can't change this distance. Keep the hips high. Exhale, melt the heart low. So option one, staying here, hugging that knee in. Option two, shin turns in. Maybe you thread the hand to the outside. You could spread your wings. You could bind. Wherever you need to be on this side. Just keep the hips high and think of melting your heart low. And slowly, gently unwind. Plant your hands, heel into the front foot out a little bit wider so that you have space to really take shoulder width apart with the hands. Tuck the back toes. Option 1 here. Option 2, come up on toes on that front foot. Option 3, do you wait? Maybe a couple little push-ups. And then inhale, sweep the left leg up and back. Three-legged dog. Maybe release down dog or take a flow. All right, on your inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step right foot to your thumb and release the back knee to the floor again. Bring both hands inside your front foot. This time heel into the front foot out wider, but on an angle. So the toes could be off the edge of your mat. Keep wrapping the back hip forward as you draw the front hip back. Really active through this front foot. We're going to keep the sole of the foot on the floor this time. So now tuck the back toes, de-weight the back leg. Right, really active variation of lizard. You may stay up high depending on your body. You might come down low onto forearms or forearms on a block, sort of halfway in between. So wherever you need to go. Last couple breaths with this really strong, really active variation of lizard. One more inhale, one sweet exhale. Back out of the hips, plant your hands. Inhale, sweep the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Maybe you release into a flow or to downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, step the left foot to the thumb, release your back knee to the floor or to a chip foam block to start with. Heel into the front foot out wider and on an angle. And your toes might be off the edge of your mat. So right now my hips are quite twisted, right to the left. So really think of wrapping the right hip forward, draw the left hip back, and then plant the sole of that front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the hips or the back knee up. Right? Option 1 is here. Option 2, forearms down either on the floor or on a block. Really try to keep that knee from winging out, though. Keep hugging the legs back toward each other. One last breath here. Back out of the hips, especially if you're all the way down. And then inhale, sweep that left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, down dog or flow. Okay, last variation of lizard, this time a little bit more peaceful. Inhale the right leg high. Exhale, step the right foot to your thumb, release your back knee to the floor. Heel into the front foot out wider and on an angle. This time, particularly if you feel like that knee really wants to wing out to the side, keep that front ankle really active, and then you can roll to the baby toe edge of the foot. But you don't want to see too many wrinkles in your ankle, right? Keep it quite active. Really now wrap that left hip forward, right hip back. Maybe you stay up high. Maybe you come down low. And try not to just hang out in the pelvis here, right? You don't want to be like this. You want that little hug of the legs back to the center line so the hips will lift slightly. This will protect your pelvis, the pelvic floor. Last option, some of you might take the left hand or the left forearm out to the side and sweep around with the right hand for the grab of the back foot, being sure that you don't have your hamstrings cramp. And then gently release the back foot if you have it. Plant your hands, tuck the back toes. Inhale the right leg up and back. Three-legged dog, flow, or downward facing dog. All right, last side. Inhale the left leg high. Exhale, step left foot to thumb. Release the back knee to the floor. Heel until the front foot out wider and on an angle. Get that ankle really active. And then, if you wish, you can allow the knee to wing out to the side. Sometimes this is called winged dragon, which I quite like that name. And allow your hips to sink without just hanging out, right? So that little draw of the legs back to the center line. Again, you might stay up high or come down to forearms, or right hand or forearm out to the side as you sweep around with the left hand for the grab of the back foot. If you wish, only if it's available to you, it's completely secondary. So wherever you are in your winged lizard. Okay, back out of your hips. Plant your hands, tuck the back toes. Inhale, sweep the left leg up and back. Three-legged dog. One last flow, if you wish. And then bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step or hop to the top edge of your mat. Inhale, little part-way lift. Exhale, fold. Two more. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, right back down to the earth. Bend your knees, plant your hands, come back to hands and knees. Little wiggle or shake. And then shift your hips on one side so that you can eventually roll all the way down onto your back. That was a lot of single leg work and single leg stretching. So just to reset the pelvis, we do a little bit of double leg stuff. So setting up for bridge, bring your feet to the floor, hip width apart, parallel-ish, close enough into your bum that you can tickle your heels with your fingertips. A little wrap of the shoulder blades onto the back. And then as you inhale, start to lift the pelvis and the spine up to the sky. Maybe you walk onto the outside edge of the shoulders. Try not to let your knees wing out to the side here, though. Keep the legs in neutral. Squeeze the bum a little bit more. And then think of hugging the heels toward you. And then think of pressing the feet away from you. And then find somewhere in between those two activations. On your exhale, slowly lower down to the earth. Couple breaths just to pause. And then draw your knees in toward your chest. Take a little rock from side to side. We'll end with a twist, so bring your right arm out to the side. Maybe you shift the hips right a little bit. Exhale, lower the knees to the left. Again, as gentle or as deep of a twist as you need. The knees could be stacked. You might take a single leg twist or legs crossed. Allow the feet to rest on the floor, though, so that they're not hovering. You could bring a block or a pillow underneath your knees or between them. And then inhale, return to center. Reset your pelvis and your spine. In fact, maybe even shift your hips left arm out to the side, and then exhale your knees to the right. It doesn't matter necessarily which direction you twist first. Some people will say that it matters a lot. People who maybe have experienced the energetic difference between one side first and then the other. Some people who are really into colon health always suggest twisting to the left first and then the right to help move things along in your colon in the correct direction. Whether or not this may be useful is something that I don't know. Last breath here. And then inhale back to center. If there's anything else you feel like you need before your rest, something like a happy baby, or hug your knees in toward your chest, those could feel really nice after all the single leg work that we did with lizard. And then start to think about where you would like to go for your rest, whether it's flat on your back, legs bent, or straight in Shavasana. You could rest on your side or in a seated meditation or in child's pose, wherever you need to be. Once you've found your pose of rest for 3 breaths, inhale through your nose and exhale, sigh your breath away. Couple more. And then let go of all breath control. Let go of all muscle gripping or tension, particularly in your face or your jaw. With every exhale, let your body melt a little bit deeper into the earth. Stay here longer if you can, 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.